All right, so this is my final playable diorama scene. As you can see, I can walk around, I can zoom in, and I can enter first person to view it from a variety of different angles. Now let's rapidly prototype a new campsite. And there we have it, a new campsite, developed in like a minute. Now I'm going to cover the tools and workflows that I created in order to make this scene. Right out the gate, I am going to disable all these props, and I am going to change this material so that you can see the underlying terrain a little better. As you can see, this is a hexagon prism, but it is being distorted by 3 layers of Perlin noise, and you can toy around with these settings quite a bit. Once you have a terrain variation that you like, you can go down here to simulate an erosion pass. Now you get these really natural looking cascading grooves across the terrain. And if you're looking for something a little different, you can also toy around with the erosion parameters. So like this gives you something a little more aggressive looking, whereas this gives you something a little smoother looking. But yeah, you have plenty of options. I also added the option to export the mesh as an FBX file in case there's anything more you need to do with it. Next, I want to demonstrate the application of a material that adapts to the newly generated terrain mesh. So in this case, I'm going to swap it over to this material here. For context, this material is using the same shader that I made for the grass material you saw previously, except this time around I have replaced the grass with snow. And I feel like the snow material in particular is really enjoyable to see because it really demonstrates the tessellated vertex displacement functionality of the shader quite well. Also, I should demonstrate that this material can respond in real time. So going back to the materials parameters, as you can see, I gave you options for adjusting the kind of the height threshold for blending, and you can adjust the steepness material as well. You can also adjust the projection vector of the steepness-based material. So in my case, I've adjusted it so that it looks like snow is coming from a certain direction as opposed to just plopping down on the flat sections of the terrain. Something of note is that this shader makes use of channel-packed arm maps, and in order to streamline the process of creating arm maps, I created this arm texture generator tool. So basically I can go to my textures folder here, go to like grass, and drag in my material parameters. And then here, the grass didn't have metallic, so I'll just set it to 0. And then I can generate an arm texture for use in the shader. The last tool I would like to demonstrate is my procedural placement controller tool, which let me populate the diorama with various objects. So I'm going to switch over to the scene view, and I'm just going to select the shrub spawner for now. There are too many parameters to go over in such a short amount of time, but what I will say is conceptually, you should think of it as you are going to be projecting potential spawn points downwards based on where this red circle is. So this red circle is dictating where things are going to spawn. You can also create an inner radius to prevent spawning. If you want to spawn things, you just hit spawn, and then you can delete them and increment the seed to spawn different variations. Now, if I combine all of this, now you're looking at something that's really fast. So basically you're seeing these circles within each other, and that is because one of the spawners is being used to spawn other spawners. And once the tent is spawned, now I have options for spawning other things. So let me increment the seeds and then spawn, and now you have the complete scene. And this is looking a little different than what you saw previously.